Hello everyone, George here, and I'm back again from actually a very brief vacation up in Canada, and I'm doing this last minute on a Sunday night, so I have something to post tomorrow morning. You can see right here, 10:12 p.m., and it's Sunday night. So anyway, why don't we go ahead and dive right into this thing, because I do kind of want to get to sleep, because I do not have President's Day off. So why don't we jump in and start making some changes real fast. So W key, literally 10 minutes ago, I just walked into the door from vacation. So let's see if I'm rusty. So I'm going to start tweaking some stuff. And you know what, besides tweaking, why don't we go to Move Tool and go to Symmetry and turn on Topology. And let's just choose the back of this thing right there. And now we can do some stuff. So I'm going to start playing with a few bits here and there just to kind of bring these out, because I didn't see this last time I'd stopped, but all these sections right here kind of bulged up, and that's not what we want. So let's fix that a little bit. And just looking at the overall shape, I'm not liking that, so we'll just kind of fix it, round it out a little bit, and we should be, that's better than it was, that's for sure. Okay, so then we've got that, we've got this thing here. We've got the bottom over there. Now what's going on here? See that nasty stuff going on? Almost in like an inverted portion of it. Actually, it probably is inverted from what I can see right here. So we're going to need to pull the insides to the outsides, aren't we? Yeah, look at that. That's gross. So let's see, is it going to be easier for me to do it this way, or is it easier the other way? So if we grab the tops of this, let's see, this needs to be symmetry. Can we just do x-axis? Will that work for us? Yes, it will. Let's see, if we grab the top and pull that through, and then now we grab maybe these parts and pull them through. That gives us our thickness, and this back up. Now we get that fixed. So good, at least something's working there. Pull that out. I'm gonna go up now and pull this up. Maybe push that back a bit. I need to start connecting all this stuff together. It's been interesting kind of leaving it all as this weird sort of animatronic base, but I need something inside of it, I think, to make this whole thing work. So why don't we look up some reference material real fast and just do, what do we want to do? Heavy machinery, something like that. I don't know. Heavy machinery images. That's some heavy machinery, all right. Let's see here. Components. Oh, okay. Actually, yeah. Some of these might work. Check all that stuff out. Engine block, etc. So what do we want to go with here? Do we want to put something like that inside the chest cavity? Let's do something like that. Let's take a square, get it roughly the right size. I'm going to frame up on it, push it into here, and let's make this the maximum size that I can kind of work with here. So let's do this. Shift right click, multi-cut, hold down Control key, and multi-cut will do the same thing as insert edge loop tool for the most part. So I can start inserting edge loops, and then we've got the mirror on, so that's why that's happening. So let's snap to the center, and that kind of didn't do what I wanted it to do, so why don't we just multi-cut this. So F8, shift right click, multi-cut, and do some more multi-cuts here and there. And can I do that on the back side, or did it go all the way around? Looks like it went all the way around. So all I'm going to do now is play with this a bit. I'm going to grab the top, and that's interesting. Let's do that. I'm going to push this back in here, I think. I'm going to take this whole piece, push it down and over. I'm going to make sure that's kind of working right there. And this can probably be wider. I'm going to push that in. And let's see, this can go out. Actually, let's just grab the vertex itself and not grab the other element, the other object. So there we are, pull that out somewhere in there. Now, you know what, it might be better for us to do this and extrude that outwards to there, and then just do a scale in So all I'm trying to do now is fill up the space inside so that I have something to work with. And then we'll kind of hopefully make this look more machine-like, make it more interesting afterwards. So let's turn off symmetry because it's, whoops, my cats are freaking out in the background. Let's grab these parts now. I'm going to extrude them in. And I'm not sure yet if I need to connect these in some interesting way, but we're just going to bring them up for now. Something like that. And I'm going to do the same thing maybe down here. So this solid bit here needs to be careful because if I do want the interior of this to bend, I'm going to need to do some bending tests, I think, on this in different segments. So this piece here, let's grab a cylinder and kind of just shove it up inside the thing so that it has something to rotate about. Something like in there. And then scale it down a bit in there. And then just grab the top of it, move it up to somewhere around there. And what we might do is segment this into multiple pieces. So like make a cylinder that goes to, I don't know. Let's see, so if that's the top piece, we want this to kind of rotate, right? So we're going to do like a rotation. Grab these, shift right click, extrude. Kind of pull them in. Do another G, pull them down and in. Bring them down. Hit G again. I'll pull these ones out a bit. G key, pull them down and over. What does this look like over here? I almost want some sort of a ball type pivot going on. So we're going to have to figure that one out a little bit. So I am going to take this, duplicate it because I'm lazy. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. So we're just trying to create a solution here. So let's grab this thing and move it on down, scale it on down, and put this into place. Somewhere in there, I would say. Okay. Okay, so why don't we go ahead, right click, right click, face, shift, hold down, grab these. I want to go ahead and extract these faces. And what I think is going to happen is we're going to have some sort of a ball joint going on there. Let's see. And why don't we take this piece out? I'm going to duplicate it, move it out for a second, and kind of come up with some things we're going to do with this to make it look a little bit more interesting. So let's grab, I don't know, these pieces here. Let's do an extrusion in on this segment. Let's see, can I grab a piece that I want? Yes, I can. And let's go ahead and do a G. Let's see, do I want to do outwards or inwards? How do I want this to look? That's the question. And if we take these elements now and I extrude them back inwards like that, we take these ones, and I think what I'm going to do is cut it up into a series of pieces right here and then insert them back in. What does that mean? Here, let's try this. Extrude faces. Let's extrude them in like that. And now I'm going to detach them or extract them. Now that I have these, I'm going to cut them up. So shift right click. Let's do insert edge loop tool for this so I get an exact number, multiple edge loops. And I'm going to do maybe 4 on each of these, see what happens. So that's going to be 1, 2. Actually, I think I need this to be an odd number. Yeah. Let's try that again. Shift right click, insert edge loop tool. Let's go to 5 instead. Do 5 there and 5 there. And then now do my selection. Still grabbing, so maybe an odd and then an even is what I actually need. Or I just need to think harder. All right, so we've got that, then we've got these ones. That's better. I'm going to now take those and actually I should probably think before I do stuff. So I'm going to take all of it and not insert it in. I'm going to take all of it, grab each of these. I am going to do an extrusion inwards. And do I want to do it like that? Oh, I'm having second guesses at how I want to handle this. Because if I do it this way, and then if I grab each of these, now we do a bevel. I get a bevel right there. Although I will want to include that. That's one thing I like about 3D Studio Max is I can add them back as I do it. Bevel. Nope. Did I lose you? What happened? Okay, that has absolutely no width to it, does it? So I can only do that to the interior ones. So I have to do it to these. So yeah, we'll just do it to them. Actually, I think... I'm wondering if I want to push them in. I shouldn't worry so much. This is a secondary piece that's going inside of it. So let's just play with it, see what we get. And if it's wrong, we'll delete it. I want to leave it hard-edged. And I think I am going to take these and delete them. And I'm going to fill it in from the inside. So let's take this, hide that, grab this, grab the edge of that, go to extrude. I'm going to pull this in and over. I guess just in. Let's see, what is that? So it's going... I need this to come straight back, don't I? So let's go to world mode. I'm going to grab it and pull straight back. Am I grabbing anything else with it? No. All right, now that I have that, I'm going to flatten it by using the scale tool to flatten it into the Z direction. Now that's not perfect, so that's not what we want to do. See how that, we don't have enough depth to make that actually work properly. So what I think I'm going to do is take this part of it and push it far enough back to make this actually work. So these parts I will flatten and I'm going to push back. And then let's see, this I might bring up to here. Same thing with a few others to like there. And then from there we're going to fuse this bridge, save, and display, show all, whoops, display, show all, whatever. And now we have that, but we do have one problem, and that is that we actually don't need these, and we can get rid of them now. So we could have done cylinders, we could have done a lot of different things to make the exact same thing happen. Yeah, it really doesn't matter. Do we have, let's go to shading and we'll go to X-ray, and now we can see all this extra junk that we have that we can get rid of. So let's go ahead and rip all that stuff out. All right, that's good. F8. Let's get out of X-ray mode. All right, so now that we have that, I kind of want to do something interesting in here. So I'm going to take a cylinder and I want to align this, frame on up into there. So I'm going to make this smaller and put this right there. And what I'm going to do is make this somewhat interesting, hopefully. I'm going to bevel it a very small amount, something like that. Take that in. There we go. And so you're not going to be able to see much from the outside. So unless the detail is right here, there's no real reason to have anything else. So why don't we do another bevel and put another ring inside of this. I'm going to grab this one as well and bring that in somewhere there. And grab both rings now, scale them together in case there was any kind of an offset, and now raise them vertically so they snap together. Right click, face mode, click and hold down shift, double click, shift, right click, extrude face, and then we can go up or we can go down. I think I'm going to go down. I'm going to grab this edge. I'm going to also bevel that. Should we do it to that edge too? Let's leave it unbeveled for the moment. Okay, now I'm going to duplicate this. And how big is that? Will that fit in here? Yes, it will. Just barely. Okay. Move this out. Now I'm going to take, what is it? Modify Align tool. Oh, I hate this tool. This isn't the one I want. I want to do this, and I want to do modify. I want to do point to point. Point to point. Let's do the U. Oh, come on. Modify, snap. There we go. Modify, point to point. Modify, snap together, U to U, enter. Now that is oriented according to that surface. Looking at it from this direction now, we can kind of guesstimate how it's supposed to look. I'm going to kind of just push it off a little bit. So that's fine. I'm going to push it up. Maybe, let's do wireframe so I get a better idea here. Push that down maybe. I'm going to take this one now. I want to do the same thing. So let's do modify and snap together, U and U. Enter. Move that somewhere there. And now what we can do is we could shrink them down if we want to, since we're oriented properly. We can shrink them down. We want to do like something like that. Shift D. That's too many. Now maybe we could probably try to fix them. That's going to look like crap. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Let's go back in time a little bit. Make it larger. I'm almost wondering if I want to put a third one in there and have it directly kind of coming straight out. So if we do a Control D, stick it right there on that part, and then just rotate this outwards slightly. Pretty much put it normal to that surface right there. Normal to the edge. That's pretty close for eyeballing it. Now that will need to be pushed into the surface, so it'll need to be stretched out, which is going to change things across each of them a little bit. So, you know, anyway, I'm just going to go with something like that for right now. Why not? And there will need to be more stuff that happens, obviously. I'm almost wondering if I should push that down and in. So let's duplicate this and just see what happens. I'm going to grab the whole thing, combine it into one element, WDV that to the top, save it, shift right click. Let's go to mirror. Whoops, shift right click and mirror. And we want to do this against the x-axis, negative, and the object itself. Hit apply. And then we get something that looks like that. Save that. I'm going to take it now. W. I'm going to paste that in there. Grab the old one. Whoops. Grab the old one. Delete that one. Now I get a better sense of what that's going to look like in that space. We can probably scale this up just a little bit. Let's modify center of the pivot on it though before we do that. And just see what the problem is. Okay, so that'll be kind of what that part of the chest looks like. Now already I'm kind of looking at it saying I'd like to have a little bit more going on. Maybe over here on these sides where each one of these is separate. Or fins, maybe something vertical. I don't know. If I take these and I start to flatten them out, like this edge here, if we can move that line in maybe, and move this line in over here, and then we bevel both of those edges, just that one and that one, that one and that one. We bevel those two. We'll get those two lines there. And let's hide some stuff. Control H, there we go. Look at it from the side, frame up. Let's turn off wireframe. Get rid of this camera. Control H. Okay, so we can see some problems. But if we ignore the geometry in our brain, it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to take this and just kind of move it up there just to make it look a little bit better in our heads. Same thing over there. Move that over. And then, so this is an edge. This is an edge here. I'm going to move this kind of up and over maybe. Do the same thing over here. Now I'm kind of interested in just seeing what this looks like. Actually, let's take these two, bevel them, and I want to move these edges. Let's go to Move Tool, W. Can we do normal or across the surface is really what I want to do. We do custom. Let's do edit pivot. Can we pivot this? This is another thing too. Max has a wonderful way of doing this that I like a lot better. Let's reset it. Let's see here. Let's see if I align that to what? Now what is that aligning to? I want to align it to this surface here so that I can take, yeah, let's go with that. So now I want to take that edge and pull that up. And then I want to take this edge now and let's edit it. Select that its own edge if I can. Fine, we'll select that edge or not. What about that edge? I want to go down it. There we go. And I want to push that one in. So now I get more of the taper up. If we do the same thing over here, I can go to Edit Pivot, grab this one, turn that off, push that in, grab this one, edit the pivot, grab that guy, push this one up and in somewhere up there. And actually now it might be better for me to grab these edges and pull them out a bit to kind of match what's going on here. So if that's a straight edge going up to there, then I want to have to grab both of these and also pull them out ever so slightly. Once again, I'm just faking this part. Not really doing anything special. And I do kind of want to, instead of that being straight, I do kind of want the geometry to be correct again. I kind of screwed that up, didn't I? I kind of want this to be more like that, just so that it matches. And we'll just leave that one. This is just for me. I don't like the topology of what was going on there. I actually don't like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's a lot of sides right there. So really this should get cut up. So let's just do a multi-cut right here and here. And I'm gonna just kind of cut this stuff up and end it where it's at. So that doesn't come back. I mean, it's gonna haunt us anyway, but so it's really not gonna do anything to us later on. Okay, and I mean, similar things can be done if we want to extrude inwards at different parts. Although I kind of almost want to not extrude inwards. I kind of want to grab like this piece here and make this something that's going to connect to the rest of it. Give it something, whoops, that's going to make it work with this piece over here, the elbow, the clavicle. So why don't we do this? I don't want to, something like that. Maybe push that in a little bit. Grab it. I don't know. Let's let's grab it actually, and we're gonna make a small change. I'm gonna push it down and over. Maybe I'm gonna widen that up a bit, and I am going to grab this part and then extrude it again, and then push that up, maybe. And now I don't want that so far over, so we're going to push this over and in. I'm going to do the same thing here, I think. I want it to be pulling inwards now. I really don't like how that looks at all. I'm going to have to do some playing around to make this something that I don't dislike. So let's grab this and push that back, and this and push this back too. And I think that's going to save it, is if I push all of this backwards. More like how you'd expect a back to be. Okay. Trying to think how I want to handle some of this stuff. Yes, some of this is getting ugly. You're not wrong. Just still trying to think. These are going to need something going on with them special. Same thing with each of these, I think. And I just don't know what that is at this moment. Oh, check that out. Look at that, I pulled it right through the bottom. Let's push that up. There we go, you can see that going right into the cylinder. See? and that cylinder pokes right through, which means this is going to have to be way back in here, just for the just for it to work anatomically. It's going to have to be further back. I'm going to display show all now. Better idea of this. And this is where I'm wondering, will the texture do the talking? Will something else help me out? Is that just going to be how it is? Do I want to think about it as a machined part? And you know, I mean, that is its form. Its form follows its function. Do we want to insert some sort of bolt holes or something in here, as if two pieces are being pulled together, to make this work better? And I'm really not sure right now how I want to handle this. And that's probably a good sign that I should stop and go to bed, because I do have work in the morning. God, this, I don't like this at all. This cut. Let's see. Segments, 2, 3. What does that give me? Geometry's not great, but it's better than what I was dealing with a second ago. What if we just did this? What if we did something where we tried to keep the geometry flowing? We turned off the wireframe. What do we end up with? That looks... Okay, let's go to mesh and let's do... That looks rough. That is rough. Very rough. All right. So let's just think about this again. So you... Come on. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. And... 1, 2, 3. More like a carved piece. A lot of geometry, but let's just take a look. And whoops. More like a mechanical piece that's come out of CAD. Ugh, look at that. So these edges here need to be hard, right? Whereas these ones here need to be soft, I think. Still looks like crap. You see that? And I'm wondering if it has anything to do with this. I mean, technically... Ugh. It just looks bad. I'm going to undo that. I might need to revert back to simple shapes. Or I might need to simplify that section. Make it come out a little bit easier. Okay. Anyway, we've got this part started for today. How long has this been recording? 34 minutes. I still want to work. I want to break this up into separate pieces, I think. Let's try that. Let's try this. I'm going to grab all of you and everything that's hidden inside. Shift right click, and I'm going to do an extract. Bring it up and out of the way. Now I just missed a bunch of it, it looks like, but that doesn't matter. We're just going to delete it. And we'll fuse it back together up here. So let's do that really quick and bridge the elements. And coming back down, we've got that piece, so that's fine. I don't need to worry about that. Modify, center the pivot. Now I do need to worry about this one here. So let's fill that in with a bridge. Did that work? No. We've got a couple problems here. We've got this piece up there that just kind of pops up out of nowhere, which doesn't do anyone any good. And I think that's it. So now we can just grab this and close it on up. Okay, good. So that's its own solid piece now. I don't need to worry about it being messed with by anyone else. Before we move on, let's mirror this. Shift right click, mirror, whoops, no, W key. I don't know where the transform is, so I'm gonna hold down the V key, middle mouse. No, it's got some mirror stuff going on. Okay, so we're gonna go to edit, delete by type, history to get rid of the mirror, hit a W key, hold down the V key, and then middle mouse click W first, V key hold down, then middle mouse click. Oh, what the f are you doing to me? Are you still have history? You have no history, so why are you still doing this to me? Oh, you do have history. Check out all that. Yep. All right, so we're gonna go grab you, and we're gonna go to edit, ungroup, and we're going to delete this transform. That doesn't help us. Now we're going to grab that, shift, right click, mirror, hit that, and that didn't work. W key, close. Where the pivot's down there for some stupid reason. W, DV, move the pivot here where it needs to be. Shift, right click, mirror. Now it's been mirrored properly. Gotta love that history crap biting you back in the butt. Edit, delete by type history, please. Thank you. Okay, so, God, that's ugly looking. We're gonna just delete it. I want to take this piece here and duplicate that, and I'm going to rip it off, and that's going to become our base to work with. There we go. And modify center pivot, whatever, move it off. So that's what this surface looks like. So let's take, I don't like already how that's bent. This should probably be a flat thing. So we just go here, delete that. No, that's not a good idea. We just delete it like that. And I want these to be planar. So let's see, let's look at this from the front view and get this pretty close. There's probably a tool that does this. I know there is one in 3D Studio Max. Is there one? Let's see, mesh. Is there a make planar? Conform? Not sure. All right, I'm not going to waste your time while I learn something. I will get to that later. I'm going to push this in. You know what? Okay, and then now we're going to shift right click, or face mode, grab it, shift right click, go to extrude, scale it in a little bit so I get kind of something to work with. I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to G key it back in, bring it in. Now eventually this is going to have to come back into play with everything else that's going on, right? It's got to connect back over here. So what if we do something kind of weird like this, where I rotate it internally? I'm going to delete that. So it's got this piece going back in. See what I mean? It's going to have a plane inside of this one that's rotated. And that's not what I want. That's better. Okay. And then I'll have whatever is the connecting piece come out into it from there. So if we grab this and I extrude that back in perpendicular to that face, we can now drive this up according to the plane that we're dealing with. If I hit the G key, I can now pull this out and down and actually have something that's more planar than before that we've been working with. If I go to world coordinate mode and I go ahead and I grab this thing again, we can now flatten this way so that part's flat. And we can take that maybe and shove it into place and have it kind of work with what's going on. We're still going to have to tweak a few things. Like for instance, all of this here is probably going to get pulled in. Same thing with the back end of it. Pull all of that nonsense in a little bit. Grab the bottom of it and probably pull that up And for some reason I grabbed all of that, which is not what I wanted. So let's just grab all of this. I want to pull that up. Just trying to give it a border right now from the edges because it's lacking one at the moment. Okay, and what I'm going to do for just right now is take this whole beam that we've been working on for some reason and just kind of, it's going to go one place or the other. It's going to go straight into here like this, underneath that, pushed back a little bit, I guess. Or it was going to go over it. I think I'm going to let it go under, just to add to the thickness of the whole thing. And this is sort of the, I'm going to leave these parts unsmooth. I'm not going to go in crazy with bevels. I might put a little bit of something on there, but I'm going to leave these as a sort of the underlying mechanical structure that's going to be more hardened and less refined than the soft plasticky type stuff put around the outside of it. Soft, no, that's way too much. We're going to go to mesh, display, soft hardened edges. That's way up at 75. We're going to put that around 45. I'm going to hit apply, close. I'm going to take a look at that now. Still got some problems. I don't like a few parts of these. They'll have to fix by hand. Like probably this entire edge should be hard edge. So let's just do that really quick. Same thing with this one. Oops. G key. Just do that a little bit. Okay. And actually, that entire thing should be hard edge too, I imagine. Okay. And then we might as well go ahead and just, let's go back with wireframe. I'm going to put the center pivot right there so I can mirror this thing across. Or it's probably better for me to combine things. So edit, delete all by type, history, grab you, combine the two of you. Now that I have this combined mesh, edit, delete by type, history. We're going to have all these like old empty nodes lying around. You can see right there. We're going to have to go through and delete these because they're not doing anything for us anymore. They're just history. That's just no longer part of it. So let's go through here, and that one's going to stay. That's going to go. That's the bottom part. We're going to keep that. So what is this? That can go as well, I believe. And we should just be left now with this part here, right? Yeah, polysurface 147. Let's just call this something body core underscore or core body, I don't know, engine. And we'll mirror this off now, W, and then we're going to DV that to the center, space, right click, excuse me, what am I doing? Right click, shift right click. Wow, I have been on vacation. Mirror, and we're going to do in a negative direction, hit apply, close, and now we can see what we have so far. So we've got that same thing on both sides, filling up the central area. Not liking the back at all. There's definitely going to have to be something interesting going on back here. Maybe the interesting part will be how the back inserts into these components right here with the rib cage. These might end up actually becoming part of this somehow. I don't know yet. We'll play with that next time. All right, now I am going to go to bed. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next episode. And so long and good night.